Yeah, thank you, Russell. That's enough of that. No Casios or Seikos for us today. We're looking at something a bit more serious, I hope. Well, after the debacle with the Slava chronograph, I thought I'd go for something like a Traveller GMT. So here were some of the reasonably priced choices. What did I pick? Yes, we picked the Bauhaus. Here it is, nice with a green colour. So you can see the model number in the top right hand corner, and it is an automatic GMT. Here are some of the details about our subject watch today. I'll give you a little blurb on the left. There's the logo, Bauhaus, which is actually Bauhaus Aviation in this case. And yeah, as you might be able to see, it has a Miyota 9075, a titanium case, and a sapphire crystal. So, you know, that's a couple of good things. As for the price you might have seen, I got a discount on the discount, and it was basically about the same money as the Slava. Yeah, it has a really nice piece of sapphire crystal, but it is a bit reflective, so it's difficult to see the green colour of the dial, which is one of the reasons I got it. As you can see, the GMT hand is quite unobtrusive, just a red arrow pointing to that inner GMT ring, which is quite artfully put inside the hour markers. I think that's quite a neat trick. I think I'm going to have some trouble showing you the green colour of the dial. The crystal's very, very reflective. It almost takes the colour away. But as you can see, it's quite a handsome looking watch. Let's say it is a Traveller GMT, and we'll get into that shortly. Some people don't like GMT hands, but this one's quite unobtrusive because it goes to a 24-hour display inside the hour hands, so it doesn't have to go all the way out to the track, which I think is quite good. And it's just all you can really see normally is that little red arrow. Yes, in case you're wondering, it does have a case back and it has the usual Miyota spinning rotor, which I like, and then you can see a little bit of the usually the 9075 movement. Yes. We didn't bother with the microscope shots because there was absolute swine to light to show you the green dial on this thing. But you can see this, you see the sunburst on that, and I think the crystal doesn't help much because it's so reflective. You've got to just get exactly the right angle. I mean, with the naked eye, it is beautifully legible. I might move into my kitchen in a minute and try and take some better video in there. So I'm just working with what natural light I have, which should last a little while anyway. So now we can get the impression that the dial is actually green, and you've got some other, well, very little in the way of other colours. The case is completely titanium, and it has a diameter of something in the order of 43 millimeters. Lug to lug is 49 millimeters, and the lug width is 22 millimeters, which is what you want. It is a 22 millimeter strap. More about the strap a little bit later. Well, let's check out the crystal. It's giving me so much trouble with the lighting. It is sapphire, which is great. As for the case back, not really, never mind. The strap itself is, well, printed as handcrafted deer leather. Poor old Bambi, eh? As I said, but there's more to come about the strap. I suppose my decision to purchase this watch begs a question. Why spend, well, a few €100 on something which our G-Shock on the left can do all of, and most of it better? Well, there's a little gimmick with the 9075, and to do that I'm going to make a comparison between the GMT in the Bauhaus with this Humble Tandorio, which is known as a Kohler GMT, which has an NH34 movement. And yeah, it's not uninteresting. Now, that date window is a bit small to the naked eye, but here, showing you here, the date shows as a second. However, let's have a look at. Yeah, currently it is actually Friday the 6th of March, and I should point out that this movement doesn't have a quick date set. Basically, you're in the same boat with the fantastic Miyota 9075 movement as you are with the 2414 movement on our old friend the Vostok Heineken. So that consists of basically spinning the... Now there is a little trick for this, but I'll just show you. Let's have a look, see what we can get with the date. Start to click over. Yeah, I thought we'd put it on the 17th of March because, you know, there's a bit of a green theme going on here in spite of the reflectiveness of the crystal on the Bauhaus. And of course we can, it'll stop probably on St. Patrick's Day. This is known as a Kohler GMT because you've got your GMT hand here, and you set that for a time zone where somebody lives who you call, like for example for my brother in the UK. At the moment they are 3 hours behind Moscow. So what we do with that, it's very easy to do this. And then you just set it back to, I don't know, 14, so that's 2 in the afternoon in the UK, which it is. So that's all nice and easy. Okay, for our watch with the 9075, however, you've got to stop the thing. So I've chosen to stop it at 60 for reasons which I hope will become clear. And then what you have to do to set the minute, the date and the GMT hand, you've got to waggle it all round sort of manually. So I won't make you watch all of this, so I'll be back in a minute. So I whiz the hands round to change the date, and you'll see I've altered the GMT hand as well. So we can set it going again. However, some of you might have noticed that it's just gone 5 o'clock here, but the the time on the watch says 6 o'clock. So what do we do to sort that out? Well, you go to this first position, and you can simply move that back there. So it's got a real jumping hour hand. Never mind those fancy things you see with the new date window. So yeah, so say for example, okay, so I've actually set it, the GMT, to British summertime, because I might as well, I don't really need that. What I wanted it for was this. So say for example, it's 5 o'clock now, and I go to see my friends in Kazakhstan. Almaty's always 3 hours ahead. All I have to do is, yeah, put it to that. It doesn't affect the GMT hand. I've still got that time zone there for us. And then we'll just turn it back again. So I think that's a rather fancy trick. Now that's great. We were able to alter the GMT hand. That's still on the GMT for the UK, or UTC if you prefer. However, say I'm travelling with this watch and I go to see my friends in Kazakhstan. Well, all you've got here is the date, and then turn it the other way, you've got the GMT. So that's not much use, is it? When you actually arrive at the other end, you've got to stop the thing and then just set it to where you want it to be. So you lose a bit of time that way. Okay, well, this is not making great time anyway. It's this NH34 movement is not noted for its accuracy, whereas as I say, this thing, yeah. So you set everything, your GMT and your date and your minutes before you set off for the airport, and when you get to your destination airport, that's all you have to do. Is that? Yeah. So I might go to, yeah. If in this, so when I go to the UK, I just turn it back 2 hours, and then, yeah, it's brilliant. I love this. I know, little things please little minds. Just thought I'd show you this rather lovely soft leather strap, which is supposedly natural handcrafted deer leather. It has a titanium buckle on it too. It's got a couple of fixed, one movable keeper. The only thing is, as you can see, there's a hole underneath the buckle, so there's only 2 holes left, and I've got a reasonable sized wrist. It's about 7 inches. I've lost some weight. It used to be 7.5. But if you buy a watch with this strap on it, it's not going to fit sort of anybody with a smaller wrist very well. You've probably got to maybe about 6.5 inches. So I mean, that's not great. You could get it with the bracelet on it, but that's so expensive. I just thought I'd show you this shot. All 3 of these watches have high beat, like 4 hertz movements, so that's, what's that, 28,800 ticks per hour. And consider it a very nice sweep. And I think one reason that this the Bauhaus design is suited for travel is it's got a big dial. It's the diameter of the case is, as I say, 43 millimeters, and 37 millimeters, that is a dial, which is a very Bauhaus sort of thing. You have mostly dial and no bezel. If you look at the steel dive, I think this comes out at something like, the actual dial inside is 28 millimeters, and the Tandorio with the PT5000, I think it's just over 30 millimeters. Even the G-Shock, which I showed you earlier, has a dial diameter of 33 millimeters. So this actually, I think, wins hands down for legibility, even with that bloody crystal. Well, I'm glad I didn't buy the one with the illuminated dial, Because the loom on this is pretty good. I've literally given it a 5-second charge on a bright light, and that's what you get. It doesn't last very long, but it'll, you know, when I'm asleep, it's sort of, if I wake up, it's still kind of working. Yeah, I believe crystal's still reflecting though. Here we go. And you might wonder, what kind of brand is Bauhaus Aviation? Well, I don't think they've got any particular heritage, but they are claiming something. On the case back, you've got an expression here, which is Uhrenwerker Ruler. Now, we're going to do a little bit of research into that. So, here's the company blurb. Fresh, colourful style. Form follows function. If you've ever heard of the Bauhaus movement, you'll know that's what that's about. So it says the new Bauhaus watch brand now celebrates the acquisition of the watch assembly and the according Bauhaus building of the former VEB or VEB Uhrenwerker Ruler by the family-run watch company Pointer. I've never heard of them either. So the actual building they use is a Bauhaus-style building. It would have been lovely to have a picture of it. And they've got some other brands, Zeppelin and Iron Annie, which have already been produced for decades. Right, so I suppose that Bauhaus jumped in and took over the whole production. So you've got the style was based on, the building was based on designs by the famous Jena architects Scheiter und Schlag. And today is one of Ruler's most important historical buildings. So I suppose they could open a museum there too, couldn't they? During the period of the German Democratic Republic, or East Germany if you like, all kinds of production was undertaken. For example, you can see here at the top there's a quartz wristwatch from 1982, and it's marked, I don't know if you can make it out, Ruler, on the dial. Mit dem Zifferblatt Signet. Wunderschön. And then underneath you've got a pocket watch, which was probably mechanical. And the thing about basic ruler watches, which are quite popular in East Germany, was that most of them didn't use dual lever movements. They used pin pallets and pin lever movements, a bit like the old Timex watches that apparently you could buy in America from a newspaper stand. And then when they just stopped working, you chuck them away. Well, I don't know if that was the case with East Germany, if anybody there was willing to fix them, but they that's what they did. And then that sort of ended when the wall came down, I suppose, in 1989, and the factory was there, and it was taken over eventually by sort of capitalist companies, for want of a better phrase. So there you are. So, one of the sub-brands for this company is Zeppelin. And they hark back to the old days. So some of their designs are a little bit more vintage. This also has a Miyota 9075 in it. You can make out a little green arrow. And it has a loomed dial. Allow me to demonstrate. There you go. So... But this is considerably more than I paid for my Bauhaus Aviation, and you get a stainless steel case, but you only get a mineral crystal. So I didn't think that was quite the value I had in mind. Now, the third brand run by this company is now called Iron Annie, but some years ago I think they used the name Junkers, as in the German aircraft company. So let's see if we can do this for you. So at 12 o'clock, underneath Iron Annie, you have the logo of the old Junkers Aircraft Company. Just a bit sad, but there we are. And yeah, they have this corrugated dial. I don't know if that comes out on the camera, but yeah, it was a sort of like a homage to the German Junkers U or Ju-52 transport plane, which was made with a corrugated outer skin. This watch, I say, as you can see, it's a slightly better value, but it is a quartz chronograph. However, the sub-dial at 6 is an alarm, which I think is quite nifty. Again, mineral crystal, but you get a steel case and you get their fancy pushers. So, that might be worth a look at if you're just looking for a quartz chronograph. Because it's not that expensive. Even compared with AliExpress, it's not terrible. Having said that about the Iron Annie, the Bauhaus label, I think, produces overall the best value. So this is their top of the range, which, as you can see, is a Type B Flieger dial. And this one runs an SW200, so actual Swiss heart in it. They're just not very far away. I mean, I was just thinking that these watches, say made in Germany, might have been lovingly slapped together in a warehouse on the shores of Lake Constance, but no, they can sort of point to some background and history, but if not a lot. But that looks quite nice. I don't think I can actually get a Swiss watch with an SW200 for a bit less money than this. So we might come back to that another time. Well, I hope that wasn't too tedious for you. As I say, it's an absolutely brilliant watch, and it's actually perfect for travelling with, because if you set everything before you leave home, when you get to your destination, you just pull the crown out and twiddle the hour hand a bit, which I think is brilliant. So I'll leave it there for today. This might go out a bit later than usual, but I thought, well, I won't bother with Sundays. So I'm doing it on a Friday, partly also so I can wish you all a fantastic weekend, and maybe I'll be back to you with a month or two with something new and horrifying. Okay. In the meantime, take care for now. Bye bye.